everybody, it's Kwanza Jones here, and I am supercharged today with Elton Anderson.
What's up?
What's up? Okay, but I want to hear you say your name.
Okay, well, I am Elton Conrad Anderson Jr.
See, I knew he was going to put some more stuff on it.
Here with Kwanza Jones.
See, all right, and what are we doing? We're supercharged together now.
Yes.
You see,
super duper charged.
Exactly. I am super duper charged. What's more supercharged than supercharged? Super duper charged. Got it. I'm supercharged. You're supercharged, and that is in part what today's episode is about, specifically about elevating everything. So that's why we're here, because you are someone, in my opinion, who elevates everything.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You know, I try to elevate and try to just bring something better to everything I'm a part of. So
See?
That's just one of my personal mantras.
Exactly, so that's why. So I'm thinking even now, for example, when you're elevating things in your business, when you're elevating things in your personal life, whether it's travel, whether it's creators of color, whether it's your photography business, whether it's just all, I'm like, you're smiling like, wait a minute, who am I talking to?
I'm a little bit of a goofball.
Okay,
So
well, you just did a photo shoot with me, so you know I am too, which is awesome. So, when you're elevating things in your business, what does that mean?
So, I think for me, and when we talk about my business, I have two businesses.
Yeah.
So I have my photography business,
Exactly.
which is just myself and my name, but I also have Creators of Color.
Right.
And so what Creators of Color's goal is to do is to elevate creatives, well, you know, people of color in the creative sphere as a whole.
Right.
So I don't want to just elevate myself, but you know, there's this old adage of kind of like lift as you climb.
Yep.
So that's what the purpose of Creators of Colors is. It's like to build a community and at the same time help elevate that community so that we're more visible, not only in front of the camera, but behind the camera.
Right.
So yeah, that's how I try to elevate things with Creators of Color. And it's been going really well. We've had a couple of panel meetings. We've had a lot of people like yourself come in and just kind of talk about the creative process. So we don't want to know like who you're dating. We don't want to know like anything personal, but we want to talk about how you went from point A to point B, because a lot of people, and I tell people this all the time, Creators of Color is for my 15-year-old self who didn't know that I could be a photographer.
Love it.
And it's also for my 25-year-old self who was working in corporate America and didn't know that I could quit my job and then go on to be a photographer as well. So if we can, you know, if Creators of Color touches those people and everybody in between, then I think that's where we elevate at, and that's where we rise together.
Tell me in your personal life, and I don't want to know who you're dating, but in your personal life, okay, you're like, well, you answered. Specifically with your travel. Okay. How do you elevate everything when you travel, and why?
Okay, well, travel's become a little bit of an addiction as of late. So something that's kind of funny is that I didn't have my first passport until I was 27 years old. So that was about 9 years ago. Wow. So I had never left the country. I had never even thought about like exploring the world. And so a good friend of mine, Jessica Nabongo, she's currently on course to be the first Black woman to go to every country in the world.
All right.
And so being her friend, by a byproduct of that is getting into travel. And so, you know, when I travel now, I've been to 68 countries.
I love
As of last week, I just got back from Denmark.
Okay.
And right now, I'm just trying to elevate the image of African Americans that travel, because it's a lot of times where I go to a country and I'm sometimes like the first Black person that they've seen. And this happened we went to Uzbekistan recently, we went to Afghanistan recently.
Okay.
I did a lot of this travel with Jessica.
Okay.
And they were just like, we've never seen an actual person of color in real life. So I think, you know, and when you talk in terms of elevation, it's good to be visible. Like visibility, it elevates, it leaves an impression on the people that we met in those different countries, because they're like, okay, I actually got to talk to another person of another race, and you just elevate culture as a whole.
Right.
So.
Really, whenever you go anywhere in the world, oftentimes I would hear, because I've traveled extensively too, you hear, I don't know if you ever heard the whole ugly American concept, that people are like, oh, you're just like an ugly American.
Really? What is that?
Well, it's more so that Americans are very ignorant.
Got it.
Specifically because they don't travel as much, so they expect everything to revolve around them.
Right.
Or us. And
Right.
it's just the only worldview, the only perspective is the American perspective. And that's not the world. That's not what we live in. It's not how we maneuver in the places where we go.
That's very important, because what I at least try to do is try to learn how to say hello, goodbye, and thank you, at least in the language where I go. Because I feel like that's at least a bit of courtesy to that country. Now, anything else beyond that?
Yeah, but at least if you're trying, and a smile goes a long way too. So it makes a difference, because it shows that you care about who they are, and there's a respect there for who it is that they are. So I definitely see that. So you're elevating everything in your personal life with a lot of travel, which is pretty awesome. But you're elevating others as you do it too, because you're there and you're showing them these various experiences, and you're a representative, whether you see it or not, of your country, yourself, your family, who you are, your people, all of that other good stuff. Okay, so we did elevating in, I would say, not only one of your businesses, but both of your businesses too. We've talked about it a little bit in your personal, and then just give us in your health and wellness or well-being.
Okay, well, I'm a man of a certain age. I just turned 36. And the metabolism.
Certain age. Okay.
The metabolism just doesn't stick like it used to when I was younger, and so a lot of times I have to, before, when you're in your 20s and teens, you can eat something and still look like
that's it.
You've been to the gym. You can eat a pack of donuts or Doritos and look great. And so now I'm having to become more conscious of my diet, which is something I didn't have to do before.
Right.
And that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
But, it's really all about discipline, because when you think about elevating, one of my favorite life coaches, the online life coach, is Tony Robbins.
Alrighty.
He talks about...
in a minute, it's about to be Kwanza Jones, but we'll get there.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Yes. I said one of.
Okay.
You are the... But he talked about you can change your life when you change the rituals that you do in your life. And when you look at where you are, if you look at your bank account, if you look at where you live, if you look at your body, it's all a result of things you've done up until the point that you're looking at everything right now. And so when I did an audit of my physical and my body, I'm like, okay, I'm not where I want to be.
Right.
So I said, how can I change that? And that is through rituals. So right now, I've been waking up at 5 a.m. every day.
I love it.
I read that most millionaires wake up at 5 a.m.
I can tell you, I wake up at 3:30 or 4. So,
So, I'm trying to get on the Kwanza Jones level.
You should.
And I'm going to spin again.
Okay, it's okay. We're spinning, because I'm a spin right too.
So it's been awesome. I've been waking up at about 4:35.
Okay.
I've been getting active immediately. So I ran 8 miles the other morning, ran 6 miles the other morning.
So you talked about your nutrition and what you ate with different health and wellness and well-being, and now you're just telling me, no, and I ran 8 miles.
I'm a runner at heart, so I ran in high school and all that.
Okay, I am too. I ran track.
Exactly.
So I get it.
So, so just incorporating. So I'm just now, I think with me, the way I want to elevate my health is through discipline.
Okay.
So it's okay, I can make a choice of what I want to eat. I can make a choice of when I wake up, and I can make a choice of what kind of exercises and things I do to exert the energy that I have. So, I'll see you at 3:30 tomorrow morning.
Hey, yes you will, because I will be up. Everybody who knows, and we've got a lot of our teammates and colleagues here. Hey, everybody say hello.
Hello.
And Johnny, you can even pan that camera around and be like, hey, turn it to yourself, to everyone else. A lot of them know they'll get messages from me all times, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. But just because I send it then, I don't expect a response at that time. But I'm able to get it out, and I'm able to be so productive at that time.
It is.
The challenge for me is when I get up and I'm up at that time, if I'm so focused, I don't get a moment to actually stop to work out. If I don't tell myself, okay, yes, now you gotta stop, now you have to go do the workout, as opposed to get up, and then immediately jump into it. So for me, when I think about it, Supercharged is about action. Whenever you're taking forward positive action, that's how you're showing how supercharged you are. So getting up, you know, going for your run, or getting up, making phone calls if it's to the East Coast or wherever it is, you're able to get so much in during that time. I'm probably not the best one to follow the sleep patterns on. Well, you know what it is? I am a vampire. I wake up early and I go to sleep late. And it's just, I haven't needed it. My dad never needed it.
Wow.
And bless his heart, he lived to be 97 years old. So I'm
look,
like, okay.
You got it in your genes.
Yes,
man.
exactly.
Genes.
You know, I've got vampire genes indeed. But I just find that I'm just energy all the time.
Yes.
Now, if I get 4 hours, that's like a sweet spot for me.
Wow,
4
okay.
to 5. 5 is good. 8, I really feel too groggy. Like I feel lethargic.
Wow.
It feels as if it's a crazy thing. So I know all the studies out there about sleep and it's good for you and all of these other things, but I also think there's some things where it's,
You know yourself.
you know yourself. You know, it's
Indeed.
just like, you know yourself, so
right.
it's important to know yourself. And it's not like I'm struggling, I'm not an insomniac, but you know, when you're making your millionaire, billionaire moves, what are you doing?
Look, listen, you can sleep later.
Exactly.
You got the rest of your life to sleep. So
I'm trying to pack in as much
listen.
life as I can and as much productivity and positivity. And oftentimes, and I'm sure you may see this now with some of the projects you work on, when you're working with other people and you don't want to be the bottleneck on so many things, and you want to make sure that they're able to do the things that they need to do. How do you do that? You have to be prepared, and you have to make sure then working in partnership with them, it's getting done.
Yeah.
So
No,
so that's how it is for me. I feel like we are spin surfing on these stools.
This is fun, yes.
We're stool surfing. It's almost like a dance because
It
part of
is.
the fitness program for Supercharged, there's a fitness component, as I was saying too, is we'll go, and we do this in the office too, we'll take dance breaks.
Oh, okay. So when is ours?
I'm like, it's about to be now. You know why?
wait.
Because
Oh,
whenever it's like our spin and our stool, that's our dance break. But we may have to get some music. We could do Supercharged. We could, somebody has something they can pull up. Luis has got it. All right, you can pull
He
up
look
any
like
of
he
them.
has
You
a
can do
song that's
Blase
ready.
Blah, or you can do Zaza, or you can do, I don't know, Supercharged, or you can do Ignite Your Life, or you can do Turn It Up. These are all songs we've written, or I've sung or written. Or, yeah, because you know. Come on, creator of color, you didn't even know. You just thought it was.
No, I know.
You know. I'm like, now
researched
you
it.
know.
I researched
You be talking blah, blah. I see how you like that jump out the chair with the spin. No, I'm see, I is not your mama. You know what that means? I is not your mama.
I is not your mama.
Yeah. Like, I'm not your mama. That
I
means,
got that.
yes,
Yeah, okay, I
exactly.
thought it was
I'm
like
like,
something
no.
else.
Well, it means some stuff behind it. Hey.
So I haven't learned. I can learn an 8 count. You can teach me something.
You can learn an 8 count. Okay, here we go. Come on. We're gonna 8 count it up here. So here we go. So I want you to go in a minute. We're just gonna step it, step.
Okay, all right.
Okay, you got this?
I got
So here's
that.
what we do. We build on it. And now let's just go from here. I'm trying to get to blase blah. Bring it up, bring it up,
All
bring it
right.
up. Okay, in a minute we're gonna go and circle around. Here we go.
Hey.
Hey, see? Now, we're gonna bring it down. Hey,
this is more than 8 count.
Hey, but you know what? That's okay. Bring it up. Blah, blah. Blah, blah.
All right.
So how do you feel?
I feel hot.
You feel hot?
I feel hot.
You should, because we had to.
I feel hot. I feel the blood
closed everything
pumping.
off so we didn't mess up the sound, you know, because as a creator of color,
Yes.
we got to make sure we keep it correct.
We have to.
And you know why?
Why is that?
Well, because whether or not it's actually what it should be, and I'm very curious to get your input about this, at times you really have to do more, do better, go the extra mile, do all of those things, whether it's a creator of color, whether it's an investor of color, whether it's a business person of color, whether it's a CEO of color, any of those things. And it shouldn't always have to be that way, but you seem to be held, or we seem to be held to a different standard.
Yeah.
So.
And the good part is that standard becomes normal.
Oh yeah, which is wonderful.
So it's like, we work so hard
Yep.
to get to where we are when we're met with, something that would break down somebody who hasn't ever been through that. We're
Yeah.
like,
That
Because
goes.
I've definitely been, and I'm sure you've been in situations where people almost lost their mind when something goes wrong. You're like, this
Like,
is
right,
literally
okay.
not even the worst thing I've seen.
Right.
So, but yeah, I love that, you know, that we tend to have that extra weight on us because then it's a lot easier to walk when the weight's gone.
Well, you definitely build up resilience, you build up grit, you know, although sometimes you're like, does it
resourcefulness.
always, all of those things.
Yeah.
You're just not always wanting it to have to be that struggle, but it really depends how you look at it because it's mindset all the time. It is what is your mindset and what is the thing that you're telling yourself because things are going to be as easy or as hard as you make them.
Exactly.
I
That's
always say it's
literally.
not, there are no problems, there are challenges, but there are always solutions. Like in any instance, there are always solutions. And that's part of what it is. When you help elevate others and they may be, what did you say, you lift as you're climbing, you're doing those things, you're elevating them and you're helping them know no matter what they're going through. And what they're going through may be building their business. What they're going through may be having a challenging time in their workplace. What they're going through could be dealing with educational experiences that they want to have. It could be family issues. It could be relationship issues. It could be any of those various things. You elevate everyone in all ways, and the strength that we're able to pull from is the richness of our background, our culture, our experiences that we've had. And we look at it like, okay, you know, it is what it is. We just keep climbing. We just keep elevating. We stay supercharged.
Yes. And you should always leave every room better than how you found it.
100%. 100%. That's exactly it.
Bring a good energy, leave a good energy there.
Yeah.
and-
But you know, it's one of those things because the way energy works, and I did this workshop where it's about how you can speak volumes without even saying a word.
Oh, yeah.
And just by how you even walk into a room can do that. Speaks volumes because you walk in a place and the energy that you're exuding is saying all sorts of things to all sorts of people.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not just even what you're wearing. And you're a photographer amongst other things, but you know that's important. So you know on the other side of the lens, you've got the front of it and you've behind the lens.
Yeah.
You know what you want to see behind the lens. So you have to communicate or want the people on the other side of the lens to communicate something with you, to you.
Indeed.
And maybe you use your words to get it out of them, but they have to actually not use their words. They just have to use their self, who they are, and all of that. So yes, so that is that's the energy. It's, you know, it's what we bring. It's what you see or what you actually have to pull out of people.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like a lot of times I try to disarm people. So
Okay.
if I want to get someone to laugh or to be their authentic self, it's a lot of times more about the conversation that you're having that kind of gets somebody to start thinking like, oh, okay, you know, how, you know, what are you passionate about? When you start thinking about what you're passionate about, you just automatically get a natural smile.
Yeah.
And instead of saying smile, I can
You're
say,
like, oh.
tell me about your latest single.
Right. Yeah.
And then that will bring a whole nother emotion out. So, you know, that's just a couple little tricks of the trade as a photographer, but just as a person in general, because I feel like I am a people person first, like, and the camera is just my tool to meet more people. That's what it's always been about for me. It's never really been about, making the most money as a photographer, even though it can be pretty lucrative. It's been about the art as well. It's definitely been about the art, but I love leaving with a new friend, with a new colleague, with a new, just somebody that I can learn from, somebody that I can help elevate as well. So, you know, with finding photography as a passion, and again, I never picked up a camera until I was about 26 as well. So a lot of things happen from the age of 26 to 27. So I don't know if the people that are listening to this, if they're in that age range, a lot of good things happen to me in that age range, and I see a lot of my friends making huge life changes then, whether it's marriage or a new career or whatever. So I think that, you know, with the passion, and the photography and Creators of Color and anything that I do, it's always about the people.
Right. Well, I think it has to be.
Yeah.
You know, would you rather be rich in resources or rich in finances? What would help you elevate more?
I would definitely say resources.
Okay, tell me why.
And because resources can be so many different things. Resources can be it's not just money, but it is people. It's taking what you have and making it better. And when, I hate to go all the way back to like slavery and
but
all
you're
that.
going there.
I'm taking us there. We're going back there. But when I think of like our ancestors, I think of they were given the scraps, the bottom of the barrel. They were given barely anything, and they turned those chitlins and those grits and that strength and that resiliency. They turned all that into a culture. Like we are, a byproduct of the resourcefulness of our ancestors. And so that's weaved within us. That's like a tapestry that's just weaved within us. So I think resourcefulness and that's just something that's in our DNA.
Yeah.
And I think, give me a penny and I'll turn it into $1 million one way.
You're right. or give me a network, a connection, a contact, a camera, something.
Yes.
The resources, an introduction, and then those things can also turn you into it also.
Turn into it. Because I moved out here, I have kind of like the typical LA story, quote unquote, where I moved out here with like $500 and slept on a friend's couch.
Wow.
And that was almost 6 years ago. And I've been able to go all throughout the world, work with so many different celebrities and companies of my dreams, and that was all because of resourcefulness. So,
right.
So that's my answer.
Well, I'm happy to hear that's your answer. I'm not going to say there's a right or wrong answer, but that's my answer too. I think it is. I always encourage people, and for anyone who is out there listening and thinking that you cannot do something because you don't have the money, you don't have the finances, it costs too much, you can't afford it. It's all in how you look at it. It's resources. I would always rather have resources than money any day, because the resources will get you the finances and get you to the places that you need to go, and the resources will get you even the experiences that you want to have.
Think about the people that have won lotteries, or think about MC Hammer, sorry. But people that were rich in finances and just didn't know what to do with it. So, team resource.
Team resource. Well, because it's also education as a resource, and even when you look at that, how does that saying go? A fool and his money are easily departed.
Yes.
You see, I said his, because we wouldn't have any women out there who are foolish with their money.
Sure. We'll have a feminist talk.
Okay, yeah. You have to come back for another podcast for that one. But it's those. Education is a resource. Knowledge can be such a resource.
That's a really good question. I like that.
Okay. Well, see, I challenge you to make sure that you're telling your friends whenever they're like, oh, no, I can't do it. I don't have it. Or you're trying to move your business to another level. And you're like, oh, but I need this. You're like, oh. But you can get it if you look at it a certain way, in a different way, and you reach out and you do the things you need to do. So here's what we need you to do. We need you to know about the Supercharged Summit, because that is October 27th. We want to get you involved somehow.
I'm there.
Okay, because your experiences, your stories, just whether it is helping to spread knowledge to people about, even from a branding perspective, because look at it, you may not be a brand architect, if you will, but you are helping people create what it is that they want to project to the world. And that is powerful in terms of what that is. And that helps elevate people's platforms. It helps elevate people in the eyes of whoever their colleagues are, in the eyes of whoever their family is, or any of those things. Or could be pitches for an investor that they're doing those things. So we're going to get you involved somehow. I don't know how. So keep your calendar open, Mr. Travel a lot. And I'm going to make this travel. I have one more continent to go to, still lots of countries to go to, but I'm going to have all 7 continents by the end of this year.
Oh, well, let me come with you.
I know. You're like, well.
But I do want to just speak before we go on the Supercharged and the excitement I have for this summit, because You know, when I think about this time, this is 2018.
Right.
Right?
Still is. We still have a few more months to
Right.
go before 19, but yes.
And I just think this is like the best time to be alive.
Yeah.
And especially if you want to be supercharged, and especially if you want to use resources, because think about it, you can become famous, wealthy, being authentic.
Right.
If you think about these kids that are internet superstars on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, they literally have an iPhone and some free time, and they're making the most hilarious videos. They're teaching people how to do makeup.
Right.
They're teaching all these different things, and they're being resourceful.
Right.
They got a little iPhone 6 and they're making
Exactly.
it work. And I think that couldn't happen 20 years ago. That couldn't happen when you talk about people building brands. So I love what you're doing. I love the message behind it, and I can't wait for us to figure out some synergy.
We're gonna elevate
with
everything
that.
together.
Yes.
That's what we're gonna do. I just got little chills.
Me too. I'm chilling.
Ooh, see, that's it. Well, everybody, it's Kwanza Jones here with Elton Anderson.
And we're spinning.
We're spinning in the stools. Here it is. We are spinning because that's it. We already did our dance break. I like the spin now.
Yes.
But we've got to synchronize our spin, Elton. That's what I'm gonna just scoop my spin around right here. Let me give you a hug. Oh my gosh, that's it. You all, we're giving everybody out there a big old supercharged hug. Stay supercharged.
Supercharged.
Super duper charged.